In, on and at. We've already talked about these as prepositions of time, but in this video we will talk about these as prepositions of place. Now, prepositions of place are usually prepositions that tell you or rather refer to a place where something is located. So let's first talk about in. In is used for most general places or rather largest places. When you don't know the specific location of where someone or something is, you can pick out the whole place, in the largest area possible, and you can say that they are in that space. For example, you can use in with countries, like he has been living in England for a decade now. Now, you know that he has been living in England, but you don't know his exact location, you don't know his exact address, so you picked out the whole country and said in England. Likewise, you can use the same thing for cities as well. For example, you can say the Eiffel Tower, one of the most recognizable landmarks of the world, is located in Paris. You can also say it's located in France. You can use in with locality or community or the whole neighborhood. Again, it's an area which is most general one. You don't know a specific address, so you are talking about the whole area. For example, it gets pretty quiet in the neighborhood after 10 p.m. It gets pretty quiet in the neighborhood after 10 p.m. Or you can also say, in our community, we don't encourage outsider activity. In our community, we don't encourage outsiders activity. In can also be used with enclosed spaces. For example, in a prison or in the cinema, in traffic, in a car, or you look yourself in the mirror, or you are standing in a queue. You are looking for a word in the book, or you have your keys in your pocket, or you have a few hundred rupees in your wallet. You can say that they are trapped in the building. If you take examples, you can say, according to the newspaper, someone died in the prison. According to the newspaper, someone died in the prison. Or you can also say, he said he would be late as he was stuck in traffic. He said he would be late as he was stuck in traffic. Now that was all about in. Now let's talk about on. On is often used for more specific places, more specific than what in is used for. Let's take a few examples. On is often used with modes of transport, like on the bus, on the train, or on the plane. You can say on the bicycle, or on the horse, or on the elephant. For example, he would be already on the train by now. He would be already on the train by now. Or thankfully everyone on the plane survived. Thankfully everyone on the plane survived. On can also be used with different means of communication, like on phone or on TV, on internet or on radio. For example, I knew it was him on the phone even though he didn't say anything. I knew it was him on the phone even though he didn't say anything. Or I found this interesting article on the internet. I found this interesting article on the internet. Now, on is also used with flat surfaces. You can say that this category also includes roads and street. You can say something is on the floor or on the roof or on the table, on the carpet, on the wall, or on your left, on the menu, or on a page. For example, you can say, what's on the menu tonight? What's on the menu tonight? It basically means that you're asking what's for dinner tonight. Or you can also say, I found a 10 rupee coin on the floor. I found a 10 rupee coin on the floor. That was all about on. Now let's talk about at. At is often used to refer to specific locations or addresses. For example, you use at in case of public places like bus stop or at the corner or at the mall or at some specific place. For example, we decided to meet at her home. We decided to meet at her home. Or you can say, I met her at a party. I met her at a party. Or he did pretty well at the convention. He did pretty well at the convention. Now you can also use at with events, like convention. Now there are also expressions like at the front desk or at the entrance or at the top of the page or at the bottom of the page. For example, you can check out at the front desk. You can check out at the front desk. Or she had to wait for an hour at the bus stop. She had to wait for an hour at the bus stop. Now before we end this video, let's talk about some standard expressions or some generic expressions with these prepositions. For in, you can say in a car, in a taxi, in a helicopter, or in a boat. These are all enclosed spaces. You can say in a lift or in an elevator or in the newspaper. Again, newspaper has a beginning and an end, so it is in a way an enclosed space. You can also say looking at yourself in the mirror, or standing in a queue. There is something in the sky, or maybe there is something in a row or in the column. So these are all expressions that you can use with in. Now let's talk about on. Now on can be used as on a bus, on a train, on a plane, or on a horse, on an elephant, on a bike, on a bicycle, or on the way. Now these are expressions that you can use with on. And if we talk about at, you can say she's at home, or at work, or at college, or at university, or at prison, or at the cinema. Again, these are all expressions that you can use with at. Now one thing to notice here, guys, is that I'm sure you have heard these expressions, she's studying in college, or she's at college right now. So these are expressions that might confuse you, because in one sentence you are saying in college and in another one you are saying at college. So I need to clarify here that at college actually denotes to her location right now. If you say that someone is at college, it means they are at college right now. If you say someone is in college, it might mean that they are studying in college, but right now they might not be at that place. So you must know that even though we have used these words with a certain preposition, that does not mean that these cannot be used with other prepositions as well. For example, when you say someone is on the way, you are saying that someone is on their way to a particular place, they are en route. But when you say in the way, it means there is something that is obstructing their way, something that is in their way. So somehow they are obstructed by it. That's why we say that they are stuck in traffic, because traffic right now is actually obstructing their path, their route. That's why they are unable to move. When you say someone is in school, it might mean someone is inside the school building, or maybe studying in school, or somehow in the school room. But if you say someone is at school, it means they might be inside the building or outside, it doesn't matter, but they are located at that place. They are at school, that's their current address. So, in case you need to find them, you will find them there. When you say someone is in prison, it might mean that someone is inside prison. It can even mean that someone is imprisoned. They are imprisoned, they are living inside a cell. But when you say someone is at prison, you are simply trying to denote to their location, their address right now. Now, while talking about books, it's usually said that you will find something in the book on a page, at the corner, or at the top, or at the bottom of the page. Now it is pretty self-explanatory. When you are talking about in a book, it means you are talking about something inside the book. You don't know the exact location, and as a book is an enclosed space because it has a beginning and an ending, so you can consider it an enclosed space. You use in a book. But when you are talking about a page, again it's a flat surface, that's why you use on the page. But again, when you are being very specific, when you are trying to give the exact location of a certain word or something, you will say at the corner of the page, or at the top, or at the bottom of the page. Now at the top or bottom, these are locations that are very specific, and that's why you use at with them. Now you might be confused with expressions like why is it in a car and on the bus, on the train, or on the plane. Now these are pretty generic expressions, and these are often used like this. Now when somebody is in the car, it means they are inside the car, they are sitting on the seats. But when someone is on the car, it means they are on the roof of the car. So that is not very comfortable, is it? But when it comes to bus, train and plane, well, these are public modes of transport and they have to be used with on. But that does not mean that you can't use in with them. For example, there is a fire in the plane. There is a fire in the plane. It means that you don't know the exact location of the fire. So you are referring to the plane as a generic place, as a general place, the large place, and the fire could be anywhere inside it. That's why you use in this case. There is a fire in the plane. Also, one more thing, when you are talking about liquids, you can say that there is too much sugar in my coffee. But when you see something floating on a liquid like water, maybe you can say that I saw a leaf on the water. It is not inside it, in fact it's pretty visible and it's on the water. So that's it for today, guys. In this video we talked about on, in and at as prepositions of place. And after watching this video, I hope you understand that words are not restricted to be used with a single preposition. They can be used with multiple prepositions, and when they are used with multiple prepositions, sometimes they mean the same and sometimes they mean entirely different. Well, that is the thing about context in a language. Whatever it is that you are trying to mean, that's exactly what your words should reflect. So that's it, guys. If you think that this video was helpful to you, then give it a like and consider subscribing to my channel. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next one.